Alright, so hey, this is another episode of Mid-Card Mana, and we got over here the loose cannon, and I just want to say I've been inspired. So, I don't think I've talked about it that much on this channel, but I have been recording an episodic sort of recap show of Lucha Underground with our Felix Finch, aka Frisco Flame the Wrestler, over on his channel, which I believe is called Frisco Flame on YouTube. You can search it up and it'll be Frisco Flame on YouTube. And I've enjoyed taking notes on it, and I've enjoyed rewatching it and sort of rediscovering things that I didn't really have a full appreciation or understanding of the first time I was watching it. And I decided, hey, this is really fun. I like doing recap shows. I like doing sort of vintage recap shows. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, do I want to do a Raw? I'm like, nah, too many people do Raw and SmackDown and even NXT now, or even Impact. So I decided there's another promotion that I really got into a year ago or a couple years ago that is a pretty classic promotion. Of course, MLW, Major League Wrestling, and they have an episodic show as well called MLW Fusion. So I decided to do a recap of MLW Fusion from their first episode, hopefully, to their most recent. So this is going to be a pretty ambitious undertaking because they have over 100 episodes currently. So yeah, please wish me luck as I try and as I take a sip of beer, as I try to catch up on Major League Wrestling. I'm very lucky in that I've already seen a good portion of kind of the middle. I kind of tuned into it I don't even remember how or why, but I started watching MLW Fusion pretty randomly as it showed up on Fight TV, and then I discovered that it was also on YouTube. So I'm going to try and do a sort of episodic recap as I watch the earlier episodes that I'm not as familiar with and re-encounter the later episodes that I am. So let's kick this off, I guess. So the first episode, as I take a sip, please wish me luck as I gulp this beer and trying to steel myself with courage. Alright, let's do it. Episode 1, When Worlds Collide, uploaded on May 16th, 2018. I don't know when it was recorded. I assume in the chronology of Major League Wrestling of MLW Fusion that this is going to be canonically the first episode, but the second and third episodes were uploaded earlier. Anyway, so this is back when MLW Fusion, first debuted as their show. The commentary, of course, is Rich Bocchini and Tony Schiavone before he got drafted to be part of All Elite Wrestling's commentary team. I'm going to close my door because I can't tell what's being picked up by the microphone. We're going to try. This is rough. As you know, Mid-Card Mana is very rough. I'm anything but professional because I am broke. If anyone wants me to be professional, please send money. Subscribe to the Patreon, Mid-Card Mana. Anyway, so the very first match that we see on MLW Fusion is Supa ACH versus Austin Aries. My guess is that Austin Aries wins because I haven't seen this before. My want is that Supa ACH wins. So the picture-in-picture starts off the show of a promo of ACH. He's the very first wrestler we see in action on the very first episode of MLW Fusion. I'm already in love with the show because I love ACH, and I'm always happy to see him just thrive. So Austin Aries doesn't even get the entrance. This is pre-Oos Wrestling. So Oos Wrestling had Austin Aries on their inaugural show. I believe it was called Oos the Unveiling in December of 2018. It was pretty close to my birthday. It might have been the 22nd or 23rd. I'm not entirely sure. I was pretty young. Anyway, moving on. You see them shake hands at the very beginning, and you kind of get a good look at ACH, who is taped up pretty heavily on the right side of his ribs and his right thigh. They collar and elbow lock up to start. They're both jockeying for position, Aries tries a submission very early in the match, but is denied by ACH, who gets the ropes. ACH shows off his athleticism and speed throughout the whole match, and we see way more of Aries trying to ground ACH, and Aries doing a lot more submission work. So ACH is trying his typical aerial style, but Aries is pretty good at getting out of the way or denying him. So ACH tries to go for that huge top rope splash, but he, like how Mauro Ranallo says, there's no H2O in the pool. Austin Aries is able to roll out of the way pretty quickly. Aries hits a Death Valley driver on ACH, which is the second time that he's able to trip up ACH on the apron. The first time, he just sort of scoops his legs out from under him. It's pretty brutal. So, ACH kind of goes for the splashes again, but Aries gets the knees up. Aries locks in a submission. ACH gets the ropes. Aries tries to speed up the match in the final sort of minutes of it and hits a brainbuster to get the win on ACH. So the first win at 17 minutes and 49 seconds of MLW Fusion is by Austin Aries. After that, we get a quick sort of promo talking about Florida and their bloodlust. Of course, this is to sort of hype up Jimmy Havoc. Jimmy Havoc's using the weird sort of AFI echoes from their song I Hope You Suffer, sort of teasing his arrival. The next match we get is, for lack of a better word, a squash match. Let me take a sip of this. Let me pour one out into my stomach for Chico Adams. Who goes against the Caramel Colossus, Barrington Hughes. So, I like Barrington Hughes. He was still pretty active in Major League Wrestling when I first started watching. And I'm sure he was, for lack of a better word, pretty unstoppable in his early run in MLW. So, you see Barrington Hughes kind of hyped up as having the fastest victory in MLW from before this televised show. So they mention October. In October, or Tony Schiavone, I believe, says, in October, Barrington Hughes set the 8.8 second record of the fastest victory in MLW. I imagine October 2017? It's not very clear. Anyway, Barrington Hughes pretty much slams Chico Adams very quickly to get the victory in 7.95 seconds, according to my timing. So I've been trying to do well about timing these matches because I know that current MLW has the timer running on their matches. So I've been trying to do the same thing for their matches that they had prior to that convention, I guess you could say. But again, the Caramel Colossus sets a new record, according to my cell phone timer, at 7.95 seconds as the quickest victory in Major League Wrestling history. So, post-match, Barrington Hughes is talking about how he hopes MLW takes notice and gives him a challenge, finally. After that, there's a match announcement for next episode. So, next episode, there will be Major League Wrestling Heavyweight Champion Shane Strickland versus Jimmy Havoc in a non-title match. And, of course, now the next match is the main event. There is Fenix versus Pentagon Jr., announced as Penta El Zero, who is accompanied by Salina de la Renta and is part of her stable, Promociones Dorado. So I'm assuming Phoenix wins here, although I am a sucker from Pentagon Jr., so I want Miedo to get the win here. So, very early on, commentary calls out the fact that they're brothers pretty much right off the bat, which kind of helps, I think, throughout the match to explain how they're able to counter each other so quickly and sort of cut each other off at the knees before they gain too much momentum or before they're able to hit too many big moves. So Penta pretty regularly does his whole taking off the glove and doing the Cero, Miedo, right into the face of Fenix. Fenix, of course, knows it's coming, catches his hand. So you can definitely tell how much experience they have with each other right from the start of the match. This match moves really, really quickly. It is, as I timed it, 14 minutes and 6 seconds, but it feels like less than half that time. So they quickly take the action outside of the ring and into the audience. There's a nice tie-in talking about the fusion of styles, of course, with Pentagon Jr. being more of the martial arts and Fenix being more of the lucha libre. So, Penta, and this I'm telling you right now, so my episode, this is being recorded as I try and move the mouse to see what date it is, because I never remember what date this is anytime anyway. So this is Thursday, March 25th, 2021. This is already after St. Patrick's Day Slam, as this, I don't know, produced by All Elite Wrestling. And already 3 years before, almost 3 years before, we see Pentagon Jr. with an affinity for funny hats, because he grabs a hat from an audience member and is already hitting chops and moves on Fenix. So he goes for the chop on Fenix. Fenix ducks out of the way. Pentagon Jr. gets a handful of turn posts. So he hits that turn post right on the metal. It's pretty loud. It sounds pretty painful. It is pretty impressive. But it again goes to show how well these two know each other. So Fenix charges or super kick from charges right into a super kick from Penta. Fenix springboards on anything, convincing me that Fenix, I should say, can springboard on a piece of dental floss. He could springboard off my arm. He could springboard off of almost literally anything. That's the kind of talent this guy has. So Penta kind of uses Fenix's aerial moves against him, catches him in lung blower. You hear a lot of C chants in lieu of, I guess, yes chants. I don't know if that's supposed to be an equivalent. I'm not really sure. There's a beautiful avalanche Spanish fly that is hit, and it's interesting that they commentary calls out the sort of lucha underground ties. They call Pentagon a rudo. They talk about how Pentagon has experience being mentored by Vampiro. And so Pentagon hits that power bomb into an arm breaker, into a Pentagon driver to get the win here against Rey Fenix. Salina de Renta busts out that Johnny Walker Blue Label to celebrate. And she talks about how she always finds the best of the best of the best talent to bring to Major League Wrestling and in her stable Promociones Dorado. This is a good show of sportsmanship between these two brothers as they embrace, and Pentagon Jr. raises Fenix's hand. There's a please come back chance as Pentagon claims the ring after Fenix vacates. And a reminder of the one announced match for the next episode, of course, being Shane Strickland versus Jimmy Havoc in a non-title match. So this is a fun episode. You know, we see a lot of these people, not all of them, but a lot of these people still in wrestling today. We see, of course, ACH, who has recently come back to the Indies after his stint in WWE. Austin Aries is still in the Indies. Austin Aries, I'm very lucky to have gotten to see live in our local promotion over on Oahu. We see Barrington, Hughes still, Chico Adams, probably less so, but I have to admit I haven't done that much research on Chico Adams, so that's my fault. And then, of course, the main event of Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. as the Lucha Bros. Mexican Cero Miedo meet them in the ring. Of course, as the Lucha Bros in AEW and part of Death Triangle. So this was a fun episode of Major League Wrestling Fusion, MLW Fusion. I'm super stoked to be on this journey. Please ignore my unmade bed and my unmade up face and my terrible lighting and everything. I just like to talk about wrestling. I'm ugly and a mess outside of my love for talking about wrestling. Hopefully I'll be able to get more people on this show because I know I am terribly uninteresting, and I have really shitty lighting. So this is my first episode of recap of Major League Wrestling Fusion, MLW Fusion. Hopefully you'll be able to tune in, and hopefully this is fun for anybody else besides me. This is the Loose Cannon signing off. Bang. Fucking bang.